So the president of the country has delivered the State of the Nation address, and unfortunately, it went exactly how I anticipated. You know, guys, me personally, there is nothing that I'm expecting from the president of this country. There is nothing that I'm expecting from Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm just waiting for his term to finish so that we can see how maybe we can move this country forward. I have realized that when it comes to State of the Nation address, the president of this country does the same thing over and over again. Ramaphosa gets on stage and he will make the promises that he knows that he cannot keep. This is something that he has been doing for the past 6 years. I mean, I think, again, this is the reason why people don't want to watch a State of the Nation address anymore, because they feel like they know what the president is going to say. I remember even on the last video, I said, I honestly don't think that the state should spend so much money on this event of the State of the Nation address. I believe that the president can just sit in his presidential office and invite the media, and this whole thing can be broadcasted on national television. There is no need for that hoo-ha. There is no need to spend the millions on this event, because there is nothing of value that South Africans are actually getting from the State of the Nation address. The only thing that South Africans are getting, it is the promises from Cyril Ramaphosa. This is one thing that he has actually mastered. I mean, I was looking at the reactions of some politicians on television. These people are optimistic about the things that Ramaphosa has actually said. These are the same people that were optimistic last year about the things that Ramaphosa has said on State of the Nation address. These are the same people that were optimistic about the things that Ramaphosa has said in the past 2 years on the State of the Nation address. There is no account for the president. No one is actually holding the president to account to say that you have been making promises. Where are the updates about those promises that you have been making? I mean, right now, people are talking about a bridge in the Eastern Cape, and people are happy that, yes, the president is speaking about a big, wonderful bridge in the Eastern Cape, a huge infrastructure project. I remember even the premier of the Eastern Cape was on social media to say that, yeah, almost R1 billion is going to be invested in the Eastern Cape. It means that people are going to find jobs. So people are happy about these promises that Ramaphosa has been making. But again, you remember when Ramaphosa was speaking about the smart city? You remember when he promised the people the smart city? How many years has Ramaphosa actually been promising the jobs? How many years has Ramaphosa been speaking about stimulating the economy? How many years has Ramaphosa actually speaking about ending crime? How many years has Ramaphosa speaking about all sorts of things? Like, these are things that he says all the time. And this is the reason why a lot of us have actually lost an interest on State of the Nation address, because we are not getting any updates of the things that he has actually made the promises of. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know some people will say that, but Thomas, you are just being negative about the president of this country. I'm sorry. I cannot listen to the promises that Ramaphosa is making to the people of this country anymore. I am just waiting for the action right now. And the fact that the past 6 years he has been making nothing but promises, I honestly don't expect much from him going forward, because he has not given us any updates about the promises that he has actually been making. So I was actually shocked to see some of the reactions of the politicians on television, so optimistic about the lies and the promises of Ramaphosa. But again, I saw a reaction of Julius Malema, and Julius Malema, his reaction was classic. His reaction was gold about Cyril Ramaphosa and what he has been saying on the State of the Nation's address.
There is no accountability, none whatsoever. He uses this platform to just come and waffle. He says he's going to create jobs, but he doesn't tell us where and how. He says infrastructure is going to be developed. So much money has been put aside. Where and how? So there's no plan. It's just utterances that he just makes, passing time, and then knowing very well that he will not be challenged by those he's governing with.
You look at the plan that is put forward in relation to investing 940 billion rand over the next 10 years towards infrastructure. Do you not think that will take us out of the low growth levels?
He has spoken about giving the disaster there in KZN 1 billion. Those houses are still not built. He has spoken about building 1 million houses in Alexandra. Those houses are not built. So whatever 900 million is talking about, you must know that he's just passing time. He's not the man who follows through what he committed during the State of the Nation address.
The Transformation Fund is promising for the next 5 years, every year they will set aside about 20 billion.
I don't know why the journalists, they keep asking about the promises that he has made. Julius Malema has made it very clear that this guy cannot keep his promises. He cannot keep his promises. You remember how the people of KZN were devastated by those floods. Has the ANC actually helped those people? Has the ANC helped those people in KZN that lives were devastated by the floods? They did say, they spoke about a lot of money and how they are going to help these people. Julius Malema is making a valid point. Julius Malema is like, this guy has been talking about creating jobs. He has been speaking about the investors coming into the country and investing so that people can find jobs. But we don't see any results of this. We don't see any results of this. And for the politicians, some of the politicians, it's easy for them to say that, yeah, this was a good speech for the president because now he's talking about stimulating the economy, growing the economy by 3%. It is so easy for them to say all of these things because they live lavish and they do not experience what average South Africans are actually experiencing. Everything that Ramaphosa is saying in Cape Town, it is not reflective on the ground. It is not reflective on the ground. And this is what he has been doing for the past 6 years. So why suddenly now people think that these promises this year are now going to be fulfilled? Like, it is insane.
He's still saying we're going to make sure that we develop the guidelines to make sure that it is not subjected to red tapes and all manner of things. Monies have been committed before. I mean, we're still talking about water today. We spoke about water during the Guyana project. When he became the president, one of the things we said to him was the completion of the Guyana project. Till today, the project has not been implemented. Very good at putting figures, throwing numbers. Even during COVID, he was every speech putting numbers. But we have never seen any legacy of those billions that he spoke about even during COVID.
If you look at the pronouncements around the finalization of the industrial policy, as well as making the mining rights application transparent, it's something that the AFF has been actually, it's close to your heart, if I can put it that way. Are you happy that perhaps maybe he's starting to navigate himself towards your thinking as a party?
He needs to give people permits so that they can mine in this country and stop this bureaucracy and corruption that is in the mineral department. We must make sure our people have got the rights, permission to mine, and we must formalize the so-called illegal miners, especially where there is potential and the land is safe. We want beneficiation to happen here in South Africa. He speaks about beneficiation all the time, he gets bored, but we have not done anything about beneficiation. We will never create jobs if we don't beneficiate in South Africa and if we don't industrialize. As things are now, we're deindustrializing the South African economy and at the same time talk about creation of jobs. So you can be guaranteed there is no concrete plan on creating jobs in South Africa. Concrete plan. He says we must come and work closer to where we work. But what has he done about Alexander, which he has committed to help? He's just talking. He's not going to bring anyone closer to where they work, because the people who own the land closer to where we work is white people. He's not going to expropriate that land. He's just baffling about it.
So this is what Ramaphosa has actually been doing basically for the past 6 years. That's why it is so hard for some of us to actually listen to the president. I honestly would like it if I would be optimistic to the president of this country, because I love this country and Ramaphosa is the head of state. I would actually like to be optimistic about the things that he actually speaks about. But when you look at his history, when you look at the fact that he has been in charge of this country for the past 6 years, and things have actually gotten worse for the people of this country. Crime has actually gotten worse. You see, the people have actually lost jobs. Right now, there are reports that are coming out that Pick and Pay is going to close, I think, like 32 shops. Can you just imagine how many people are going to lose their jobs? I remember even last year, before December, there were reports that came out that 30,000 people, I think, in government are going to lose their jobs. So Ramaphosa's legacy has been about a high cost of living, a high crime, and no improvement, none whatsoever. Like, this is his legacy as the president of the country. This is his legacy as the president of the country. And I don't know how comfortable he is with the fact that this is his legacy as the president of the country. He will be remembered as one of the worst presidents to ever lead this country. Can you just imagine? He will be remembered as one of the worst presidents to ever lead this country, because all he does is to speak. He never actually acts. All he does is to speak, and everything that he speaks about, we don't see it, and there is no accountability for all the things that he has made. There is no accountability. No one is actually holding him accountable for everything that he has actually said. People are just allowing him to go on in parliament and continue to lie and continue to make promises. Next year comes, they organize a big event, they throw millions into State of the Nation address, and he comes and he makes the promises and he leaves while the people of this country are starving. The people of this country are starving. This country is literally going down. It's on its knees, literally. But the president of the country just continues to make promises. So this is his legacy, and I don't know how comfortable he is with the fact that this is his legacy. If I were him, man, I would be disappointed at myself that this is how the people of this country are actually looking at him. Because, you know, when it comes to Ramaphosa, the reason why people are so disappointed at him is because when Jacob Zuma left the office, people were saying, finally, that president of the Guptas is out, and we are sure that whoever that is going to assume office is not going to be worse than Jacob Zuma. This is what South Africans were actually hoping when when the ANC said, Cyril Ramaphosa, the businessman, the billionaire, he is not even going to touch any of your money because he has his own money. People were so happy to say that, yes, this guy is a businessman, this guy is a billionaire, he's not going to touch the taxpayers' money. This guy is just going to deliver, he's not going to cover to the ANC because he has his own money. And it turned out that Ramaphosa is just one of the ANC guys. And this is why people are so disappointed, because people felt like, okay, Jacob Zuma and his administration is not doing good to us. And the fact that the Guptas were calling the shots, you remember even during the state capture commission, the likes of Fikile Mbalula, they were there to say that, no, we were appointed by the Guptas, man. It was a mess. The Guptas were actually calling the shots. We had the president of the country, but the Guptas were the ones that are congratulating us before the president even tells us that you are the new minister of this. The Guptas will tell you that, oh, congratulations, you are the new minister of the police, and you haven't even spoken with the president. And when you pick up your call and you call the president, and the president says, yeah, you are the minister of police. So it was a mayhem. So people were saying, okay, finally, this guy, let Jacob Zuma go. Let Jacob Zuma go. Nkandla guy, he built his compound with the taxpayers' money. Like, let this guy go. And whoever is going to assume office, we are sure that he's not going to be worse than Jacob Zuma. Then Cyril Ramaphosa came. And man, South Africans were so optimistic about Cyril Ramaphosa. South Africans were so happy about Ramaphosa. And the things that he used to say when he assumed the office, these are things that South Africans actually wanted to hear. Because you remember how arrogant the ANC ministers were under Jacob Zuma. These people were so arrogant, they didn't give a damn about the public and what the public says. The corrupt ministers under Jacob Zuma, they were so corrupt. And when Ramaphosa came into the office, he said that the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to call Shamila Batoyi from the Europe. And Shamila Batoyi is going to come here at the NPA. And Shamila Batoyi is going to deal with all of these corrupt ministers that have been giving you the middle finger. And people were happy, yes. And Cyril Ramaphosa was speaking about the stimulation. He was speaking about in investments into the country, and because the ANC has actually sold this guy as the businessman, people were happy. Even the people that were unemployed, they were happy that, yes man, I mean, come on, we have a president that is a businessman. I mean, come on, it's not going to be hard for this person to actually sit down with a businessman throughout the world and actually convince these people to come into the country and invest into the country. And looking at him today, it is just a big disappointment. And I think this is the reason why South Africans are so pissed off with Ramaphosa, because everything actually got worse under him. It got worse. Everything got worse under Ramaphosa. So we know that for the past few weeks, it has been a mayhem in this country, especially between, you remember that back and forth of Ramaphosa and the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and now there was this back and forth between the ANC and the Trump administration. So after the State of the Nation address, Ramaphosa has actually said that, okay, let me address some of these issues. And in this video, Ramaphosa has toned it down, unlike how he was acting in the past few weeks, because you remember how he was very combative in the past couple of weeks. But right now he's saying that, no man, there's no need for us to fight. We can actually discuss some of these important issues behind closed doors. I am not the kind of a president that likes to do the back and forth with other presidents. I believe in sitting down and diplomacy and talking about these important matters in a very respectful manner. And this is what Ramaphosa has basically said.
And with regard to what's happening in the DRC, as a head of state, I am not in the habit of getting into the mud and arguing with other people, other heads of state. Matters of importance are discussed properly behind closed doors. So I'm not going to get into the mud.
But to be fair, in this past few weeks, you were in the mud. You remember how angry the Rwanda president was when Ramaphosa basically referred to Rwanda Defense Force as a militia. So Ramaphosa's social media page has been very active. He has been very active. So I think when he says this, he actually realizes that this is not a good look, man. I'm the president of the country, and I'm not supposed to be on social media and attacking other heads of state. So I think this is the reason why he says that I'm not this type of a president. So I was quite surprised, and listening to his tone is more calmer than it was a couple of days ago.
And with regard to the United States is a very important player on the global stage. They're the biggest economy, and they are our very important trading partner. So we intend to deal with them in a formal way and in proper engagement. And as I said, I'm going to be sending a delegation to the world, on our own continent, to Europe, to the Americas, and to Asia, to the Middle East, to go and explain our position, more particularly our G20 objectives, because we want this G20 to be an African G20, but also to be a G20 that is going to focus on the issues that impact on the global south and humanity more broadly.
Mr. President?
Well, anybody who says things are not for negotiation is not being realistic. We live in a world where we want to promote cooperation. We want to promote dialogue. We want to promote being able to work with others. And so we want people to put their views forward. It must be a festival of ideas being put forward where we sharpen each other's wits and where we put wisdom and facts on the table. So we will be willing to talk to people. And now that we're president of the G20, we are the hosts. We are the dialogue leader. We are going to be presenting positions, and therefore we're open to talking, as we are open for business. And when you're open for business, you want to hear views, even if they're divergent to your own views, and you want to find consensus. And once we get consensus, we're then able to. Well, we're working now.
You know, speaking of being open for business, I remember what Reverend Kenneth Misho said, that South Africa can say that they are open for business. These people can actually go everywhere in the world to say that they are open for business. But why would the business people actually invest in this country when there is so much lawlessness in this country? Because when you look at the ANC, there is no political will to actually deal with the lawlessness in this country. And this is one thing that even the investors are looking into the country to say that these people are not serious about lawlessness in their country. So why should the businesses actually come and invest into this country when these people, when there is no political will to actually show these people that, guys, we are serious about the rule of law in this country? Because Ramaphosa always speaks about the rule of law, how South Africa is a country that is based in a rule of law. But when you look objectively into what is happening into this country, you can see that there is no rule of law in this country. There is no rule of law. That's why the people are committing crimes as they please. There is no accountability for the people that are committing the crimes. The people that are coming outside of this country, they get into this country and they commit the most heinous crimes. And there is no accountability about that. And South Africans cannot even speak about the people that are destroying their communities, because as soon as they speak about these people that are destroying their communities, especially if these people come outside of this country, they are quickly labeled as xenophobic. So where is the political will to actually deal with the lawlessness? Where is the political will to deal with that? It is crazy, man. It is crazy. It is crazy. There's no need for them to talk the big game. There's absolutely no need for them to talk the big game. What is the point of talking the big game if you are not ready to actually fix the country? I mean, like, there's a reason why the companies are closing in this country. There's a reason why people are losing jobs in this country. There is a reason why. There is a reason why. So you guys can scream all you want that we are open for business. This is going to be a seminar where we are going to exchange the ideas and actually stimulate each other about the business. There's absolutely no need. There's absolutely no need, because you guys are not serious about fixing this country. You are not making this country attractive to the investors throughout the world. When the investors are looking into this country, they say that South Africa is a country that actually has a lot of potential. But if you look at the people that are governing that country, those people that are governing those countries are hell-bent on making that country a failed state. This is what it seems like. Even to us, the average citizens in this country, we know that this is a beautiful country that actually has a lot of... This is a beautiful country that actually has a lot of what is this word? It has a lot of potential. But the people that are governing this country are the ones that are hell-bent on actually making this country a failed state. The laws that you guys are coming up with, the way you guys are carrying yourselves, the fact that you guys are just corrupt there at the higher offices, and you are not even willing to deal with that. This is why I'm saying that South Africans are so mad with Ramaphosa, because he promised to deal with corruption, and there is nothing that would actually satisfy South Africans than to see these arrogant, corrupt politicians actually being held accountable. The Zondo Commission files are actually there gathering dust. They are there gathering dust, and nothing has been done about that. They are there gathering dust. The same president of the country is working with the people that have been named and shamed live on national television. So these people are just there, corrupt, there at the top, and there is no one that is actually holding these people accountable. I mean, you look at China, you see what is happening with people that are corrupt in China. They are hanging you in China there. They are hanging you if you are corrupt in China. But in this country, like, these people are just bunch of fat kids, fat, corrupt kids that are hoping that people are going to invest their billions into this country so that they can loot them. It is amazing. It is amazing how these people are just carrying themselves.
With the UN and, of course, the SANDF to bring our fallen soldiers back. We're working fervently. And when we get to Tanzania to have the summit tomorrow, I'm hoping that we will not only deal with, what has happened in the recent past, but we will deal with issues that revolve around a ceasefire and finding a permanent solution to the problems that have dogged the DRC for the longest time. And we want our soldiers to come back. We want peace to prevail in that area, in that part of our continent, so that the people of DRC can live in peace. And all of us can be in our own countries, advancing development of our own people. So all at one go. No, as I said yesterday in the State of the Nation address, we intend to grow our economy. We're focusing more intently on growing the economy by ensuring that our reforms take root, and we broaden our reforms as well to the second phase. We've done relatively well so far with our reforms, particularly when it comes to network industries, our electricity, our logistics, our rail, and our ports. We're doing much better than we did in the past. And that in itself is a really good indicator to investors, because they show that they see that we are serious. We're beginning to address the issues that they were believing are holding back their own investments. So investment confidence is up. And once investment confidence is up, we'll see a real growth in investments in our economy, and then we will see growth and creation of jobs. We intend to get into the second phase, which will focus on water and local government as well, and the regulatory environment. So we are intending to do a clean sweep of everything that is holding our economy back. And at the same time, government itself is ramping up its public employment programs. We're going to be integrating them and making sure that we bring in young people, we bring in women, we bring in disabled people and give them opportunities, real opportunities of learning new skills. And we want to get into new industries, the green economy, artificial intelligence, the digital economy. So opportunities are going to really open up in South Africa, and we are really excited about that, and more particularly by being able to have a compact with business. And
I mean, have you realized that in the ANC, they are willing to fix everything but themselves? I'm saying this because the president is saying that, okay, we are now hiring more people. We are going to hire more people so that we can improve our municipalities and whatever. So what's the point of actually hiring these skilled workers if they are going to work under these incompetent ANC mayors? Because if the ANC was actually serious about turning things around, they would fire like all of these mayors, they would fire all of these councillors and say that, guys, we are starting from afresh. We are going to give our people the competent councillors that they deserve, the competent councillors that they can actually rely on. We are going to give our people competent mayors that knows how to do the job. Because right now there is no need for them to actually hire all of these people if they are going to work under these incompetent mayors. So the ANC is willing to fix everything but themselves. They are talking about, yeah, this is what we are going to fix, but they are not saying anything about the problem, which is themselves. The problem is the ANC themselves. The problem is the ANC themselves. Ramaphosa can change the laws. Ramaphosa can promise all the investors everything that they want. But as long as you have these corrupt ANC guys, the investors will always look at the ANC sideways, because they are not willing to actually get rid of these people that have bad reputation of actually messing things around. They are not willing to do anything about those people. We are willing to change the laws. We are willing to do this, to do that, but we are not going to move ourselves. We are just waiting for you to invest the money so that we can start looting. So even in the local, locally, What's the point of actually hiring the people if they are going to work under the incompetent ANC mayors? What's the point? What's the point? Because this actually would actually be the new renewal of the ANC. I mean, sometimes I wish these people can just invite me there to Lutuli House so that we can lay this thing out for them. It is so easy. Everybody knows what the ANC needs to do if they actually wants to improve the lives of the people. It is so easy. It is so easy, man. You can start locally, man. Start with the councillors. Locally, start with the councillors. Start with the mayors, man. Give the people the municipalities that they can actually be proud of. You give the people competent mayors so that their neighborhoods can be cleaned. This thing of actually living in these dumps, because this is what we are living in the townships. At every corner there is a dumping site in the townships. In the townships there is a sewage that is running in the streets. And these are things that should be dealt with by the municipalities, but the municipalities are not even dealing with that. They only deal with that when the elections are close, which is a huge insult to the people that are living in the townships. It is a massive insult, because they actually say that, okay, these people are stupid, they don't deserve any services. We are only going to give them the services when the elections are around. You can start locally, start slow, start small, and build your way up. And build your way up to the premiers. These incompetent premiers, get rid of these incompetent premiers, man. Just get the people that actually can do the job. Get the well-qualified people that can do the job. Get well-qualified people that can do the job. What is so hard about the ANC actually hiring the people that are competent, hiring the people that can actually do the job? What is it so hard about the ANC for them to actually do that? This is one thing that I do not understand. Because every time, even in my neighborhood, they will change the councillor. They change a terrible councillor to a terrible councillor. They change a worst mayor to a terrible mayor. This is how they go. And things are not changing. If anything, things are actually getting worse. Things are getting worse. So what I honestly don't understand. Why is it so hard for these people to just put the people that can actually do the job, man? Hire young mayors, man. Hire young councillors, the people that can actually do the job. I remember some of the councillor that we had. This guy couldn't even write nothing, man. This guy, when you get to his house and say, Mr. Councillor, I would like a proof of address. This guy cannot write anything. He cannot write anything. He was even assisted by his children. He would be assisted by his children. When you get there, they will say that, oh, Lerato, come. Hey, this letter of this letter that he wants help with. They cannot write anything. When it comes to actually writing the statements, these people are worse. You will be there and say that, councillor, this is what I need. I need this and this and this and this and this. Can you please write this for me? And this person doesn't even know where to start. He doesn't even know where to start. This guy is just a 70-year-old councillor who's always sleeping at his home. The people don't even know where he lives. I mean, even right now, where I live, I don't want to lie, I don't even know where the councillor lives. And this is the ANC for us. This is the ANC for us. This is the legacy of the ANC. But they have actually proven that they are not serious about this renewal project that they always talk about. When they dismiss one person, they are like, yeah, this is the ANC. The ANC is working. The renewal is working, but this is not the true renewal. It is not the true renewal. So if there's one thing that we can be sure of, is that these people are not serious about this renewal that they always talk about. They are not. They are not. And it is evident that when it comes to the ANC, the people that are getting the jobs are the people that have been loyal with the ANC, not the people that are qualified, not the people that are well qualified to get the jobs. No, you just have to be a long-standing member of the ANC. It doesn't matter how terrible you are going to get a high position. It doesn't matter is the MMCs, you are going to get a higher position if you are a long-standing member of the ANC, which is terrible.
And more particularly by being able to have a compact with business and labor and social organizations working together with us. So the growth of our economy is going to revolve around us pulling together. And I have a sense that South Africans collectively now want the country to move forward, and that nothing should hold us back, and government is going to be there to facilitate that.
Yeah, we are very resilient, in your words. We are very resilient, man. Man, it is so sad, man, like that. This is how we feel about our president. Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.